Well, it's a very good morning from me, and it's a very good morning from him, whichever one you want to look at. Right now, you've got my little screen there. So, good morning from me. Good morning to everybody here. Let's just pop on into the green screen, shall we? Let's just say hi to you. Good morning. Welcome to my mortgage live stream. Slightly different viewpoint here. We're having the studio decorated at the moment, so I'm kind of using technology to hide the decoration that's going on behind me, and it'd be interesting to see what you think of this. Now, I'm behind a green screen now, and I'll share this with you in a second or two. Now, the great thing about green screens is you can put these things up as well. This is a background, of course it is. Now, answers on the postcard, please. Who recognises that background? Not a lot of people. Well, I'm sure you probably will recognise it. Now, for extra bonus points for Christmas coming up, who recognises this background? This one's from a 1970s sitcom. You can probably notice the 1970s bar there with all the liquor. Everybody drank a lot in the 1970s. There's a hotel down in the southwest. Again, answer on a postcard, please, or in the comments box if you wish to get my prize, which I shall award you if you wish to as well. Welcome to my live stream. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Hope all is fine for you, whether you're on half term or not at the moment. Now, just those of you watching the live stream, just if you're interested in doing this kind of thing, because mortgage advisors, mortgage brokers, financial advisors should be doing this sort of thing when you're presenting. Don't hide behind a PowerPoint kit. Obviously, I've got PowerPoint here, but I've got it on a green screen. Now, green screens are fairly straightforward things. Now, what you do here is you remove, quite simply, the green screen. And you'll notice that there's a green screen that I just pulled down. And behind me, I've got my whiteboard. It's not actually as more complicated than that, really. Now, as long as you don't wear green and you light your studio well, then you can pull down a green screen and you can have any background you like. Now, what I've got, of course, with my backgrounds is I use them with slides as well. So that's just a great thing that you might want to think about doing when you're presenting to your customers or your network or whoever you want to present to. Don't hide behind PowerPoint slides and garble along in the background. It's just so like last decade, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on to our topic today. I want to talk to you, well, you can obviously see what I'm going to talk to you about. MCOB 6 disclosure, and we're going to take a look at MCOB 7 as well, and MCOB 12, and I've got a little sales tip to help you when you're getting referrals. That's my promise to you today, to entertain you as much as possible. But what I will want to do now, though, I'm going to go straight into my first topic. Welcome to MCOB 6, disclosure at the mortgage offer stage. Only a little dinky little MCOB, but again, one that you might get a couple of questions on. And I see I've got my whiteboard here, which I'm going to be presenting from. Now, MCOB 6 is a lender's MCOB. Remember, MCOBs were designed predominantly, really, when lenders dominated the situation in 2004. And MCOB 6 affects how they issue the mortgage offer and what they need to disclose when they do so. So let's just take a look at how this works. So first of all, then, we're talking here about the lender, aren't we? The bank, the building society, the specialist lender, whoever is issuing the mortgage offer. They issue the mortgage offer once they've done all their various checks, balances, etc. Now, the mortgage offer now that they issue is actually binding on the lender. It's not binding on the customer. This was post-2014. The customer now has what's called a reflection period. So let's just put that down here for you. Now, this gives the customer a chance to reflect. Obviously, that's why it's called a reflection period for 7 days. And it means that the lender or the broker can't start things off or interfere. They have time to think about it. And if they don't want to go ahead, they don't have to. They might incur a fee or two, so they've got to be a bit careful with that. And they accept the offer effectively. Now, they can waive their reflection period if they wish to as well. It's entirely up to them, but most will chew on it for 7 days and decide to go ahead or not. Once they've accepted, they then go on to completion, etc., and all those good things. Mortgage offers, take a look at those in a second or two. But the exception, by the way, to the reflection period, these are sort of exam questions you get, isn't it? There's 3 exceptions, really. There's the PT, what we now call the product transfer, when somebody's fixed rate comes to an end and the lender transfers to another product without, increasing the loan size, that sort of thing. A transfer of equity, they don't need to worry about that either. Transfer of equity is when you remove somebody from the mortgage or add somebody to the mortgage. And the last one there, just squeeze that down there for you, is a further advance, where for some reason they don't need to do a reflection period. But then again, they're quite happy with the lender, so that's probably the reason why. Now, the mortgage offer that's issued It's not a complicated thing. We've all seen mortgage offers. I'm sure you have, or you can just Google a mortgage offer, get an example given to you on the screen. Now, the whole point about the mortgage offer is it's sent to the customer or emailed or posted, whatever's easier for the lender, alongside a revised ESIS or KFI plus. So they get the mortgage offer plus a revised KFI plus or ESIS, which of course is the document issued when the advice is given, giving you details of the product. So it's just a revised one, updated one, make sure everything's all dashed and dotted. Now, when the offer is issued, it is a formal document. It can be several pages depending on conditions and things. It'll talk about the amount of mortgage, the property, all the details of the loan. Of course, go into the mortgage offer, so you get your loan details go in there as well. Now, alongside the loan details, you're going to have conditions. You're going to have what they call standard conditions. Let's just squeeze that in for you then. Standard conditions and special conditions. Now, you often get questions in the exam about the difference. Now, a standard condition is literally a condition that applies to every mortgage offer. For example, it could have a lifespan of 6 months, and then you have to get a revised mortgage offer. That's a standard condition that applies to everybody who has a mortgage with that particular lender. It's usually pre-printed. I remember doing these things back in the 80s when I was starting off years ago. And we used to get the typewriter out, the electric typewriter, and put a mortgage offer in, which was a NCR sort of paper which copied onto each other, 3 sheets, and he put it into the typewriter. And on the back of this pre-templated offer were the standard conditions. They were the same for everybody. What we had to do, though, is type in the special conditions that related to that particular borrower. So it could, for example, be a retention required of £500 to do a bit of work or something like that. That's special for that particular borrower, and that's what we call specific or special conditions. And I remember physically typing these in the 80s. I used to type on the old-fashioned typewriter. Lots changed, of course, since then. It also must confirm the tariff, and I want to get onto that one now. The tariff of charges, which affects all things really. We're going to talk about those a little bit more when we do disclosure on completion, but it gives you an idea of the tariff of charges as well. Now, what does the mortgage broker need to do? Well, she needs to act here. Obviously, the lender's sending the mortgage offer. What the mortgage broker should do is activate her mortgage offer meeting. Now, mortgage offer meeting. Now, not a lot of brokers do this because they think that they've gone to the next customer. It's time to be they work really. But the mortgage offer meeting is an extra meeting you want to do with your customer. Do it online, do it on video. You don't need to go and see everybody all the time. You can do it quickly on video for 20 minutes or so, where you obviously be careful of the reflection period. I get that. Where you go through the details of the offer, talk about it, answer any questions for the customer. Now, that's your opportunity now at the mortgage offer meeting. This is an important thing for you to seek a testimonial. Now, you should do this. Now, testimonials, of course, go on your advised site. So your vouch for, your Google reviews, TripAdvisor, whatever you use to collect your testimonials, you go for it then. The reason for that is the customer loves you to bits. You've given them the mortgage they want. Hopefully it's what they wanted. They really think you're the bee's knees. Work on that, get them to talk about the value you've provided, then ask if they would be happy enough to put that value on a testimonial for you for future customers. They'll do that. You have to ask for it there and then. And you have to get a QR code, maybe if you're on vouch for example, get a QR code so they can get their phone, click on the QR code, go to the site, sign in quickly, do it there and then. Don't let them do it afterwards. I think that's a really important thing to do as a mortgage advisor. So that, my friends, is MCOB 6 disclosure at the mortgage offer. Hope you found that useful. Bye. Well done all. Now, I'm not going to go over to my little section over there because it's being decorated. So again, if I could just bring the green screen down just to show you what's going on really. Here we have the green screen. Now you can see there, of course, you've got well, you're going to tell me where that's from, don't you, in the future? But if you're interested, all you're looking at there is a very basic green screen, as you can see. It's been nicely lit and it allows you to do various things in there as well. Now, once you've got it up there and you've got it lit, make sure you light it from the side and you light it from behind. I can move forward and backwards, and it doesn't give that sort of blurry look you get with Zoom sometimes. Now, once I've got this, of course, I can put a slide up, which you can see from that one, and I can also jump into the slide using my gadgetry, which is what I've just done. What I'd like to do now is just give you a little bit of a sales tip now to help you. I mentioned about that testimonial that you obtain in the mortgage offer meeting, which, they're great things because when we're asking for referrals, when we're getting referrals from customers, we do it in 3 stages. Stage 1 is sowing the seed at the value proposition stage. Stage 2 is the mortgage offer meeting that we just talked about. And stage 3 is at the completion meeting, which we're going to come on to in a second for you when I look at the next MCOB 7. But a lot of brokers, a lot of advisors, a lot of mortgage people are reticent to ask for referrals. And it amazes me. I do this talk a lot, and I ask everybody in the audience, I say, look, do you believe, I say, in referrals? In other words, building your business by asking customers for referrals. And everybody puts their hands up because they do. Everybody says, yes, Paul, of course I believe in it. And then I say to them, the next question, I said, well, do you actually ask every single client for a referral? And then people go, oh, not everyone, Paul. I mean, surely not every client I get as well. A bit awkward, may not be the right time, don't feel right. It's just odd. It's a bit salesy, a bit pushy. Don't want to be pushy, not like in the old days, not in the 90s. And that's a shame, really, because therefore a lot of mortgage brokers won't ask for referral because of their self-talk. And it's this thing called perils of self-talk. In other words, you as an advisor saying to yourself, well, actually, I better not ask them because it's not the right time. Oh my God, what's going on here? I'll do it later, or, I've been really busy, or it may not be me or something me I've done wrong or something. Self-talk, you see, is an enormously powerful negative thing that we all tend to have, all of us, and we have to handle it. You have to turn the volume down of the self-talk that's going on in your head, because most of it's negative. Sometimes it's positive, but normally it's like a 10-to-1 ratio of negative to positive. Now, when I was a kid, when I was growing up back in the 70s and 80s, my mum would always put the radio on in the morning. She would turn the radio on at 7 o'clock or whatever, and it would stay on all day. It was just the way it was. And you had various DJs and songs, all sorts of things in the background all the time. And you kind of got used to it in a way. We used to listen to Capital Radio. This is a clip there of Capital Radio 194. All the hits and more and more. Yeah, it was just like the jingles, because they're on all the time, you see, Capital Radio. And to a degree, you got interrupted by the music. Maybe a tune came on which you liked, or a jingle or commercial, or something happened. And it just distracted you. So all I did when my mum wasn't looking is I went up to the radio and I turned the volume down. Simple as that. I turned it down so I could concentrate on what I was doing. And that's the same thing with self-talk. If you're getting too much self-talk, negative self-talk in your head, just turn the volume down. I know that's metaphorical, but you could twist your ear if you wanted to turn the volume down. And that way, you wouldn't have any negative self-talk going on, because that's the biggest danger for you as a mortgage advisor. I love these DJs, don't you? I'll zoom in there. You got Kenny Everett. Look at him. He looks really young there, doesn't he? And this one I love. This guy, if you recognise, Chris Tarrant, looking very young and very surprised as well. And that's Capital Radio for you. And that's just what to do with self-talk. I hope you found that useful. Bye. As you can see, that's a green screen. It's PowerPoint, so I can do what I like. I've got the clicker here in my hand, so I can move it forwards and backwards if I want to, and keep control. And that's the beauty, of course, of green screen. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to my last topic for you. For this one, I'm going to head over to the other whiteboard, which isn't so affected by the decorating that's going on today. So let me just pop over to the next whiteboard for you. Here we go. Ta-da! Here I go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Now, I've already pre-prepared this one for you. And I want to take a look at MCOB 7 now, which is disclosure on completion. Again, this is a lender thing, if you think about it logically. You've got the bank, the building society, whoever that is. The completion is the mortgage completion we're talking about here. It normally, of course, coincides with house completion. You know, you're moving house at the same time, but it could be a remortgage, which doesn't require you to move house. It's good news time, of course. Everybody loves a completion, and the lender now has to get into action. And the lender now sends details of the new mortgage to the customer, wherever they're living now, if it's a new house as well. And these completion statements, as we call them, need to be sent for further advances, product transfers, all sorts of completions that the lender's are going to be doing, or new mortgages, and it's sent to the customer. Now, what does the completion statement contain? So let's draw up a completion statement for you. Let's put one here on my board. Here you go. Again, it's in paper format. Remember my mortgage that completed a while ago, we got it in paper. I think I emailed it as well. So that's what we call the completion statement, is the proper name for it. It's a completion statement. Now, what goes on in the completion statement? Well, there's a few things that happen. First of all, it needs to confirm all of the payment details that you've got. So when is your payment due? How much is it going to be? The direct debit that you set up, etc. The dates and all those good things are confirmed. It also confirms the mortgage method that you have adopted. Now, most people nowadays tend to go for repayment mortgages, but back in the day, endowments were quite popular as well. Now, if it was an endowment or some kind of interest-only repayment vehicle, then it had to state you had to be very careful to make sure you get your mortgage paid off. So if you were going to go for an interest-only mortgage, it reminded you again that you were responsible for the repayment vehicle, whatever that was, endowment, ISAs, pensions, or just sale of property nowadays. And they have to remind the customer every year of that when they send through a statement, because statements get sent every year, as you'd appreciate, showing you all your payments, etc. So they have to remind the customer to make sure they've got a mortgage method of repayment to pay that interest-only mortgage. It'll outline any flexibility built in. So if there's payment holidays or any kind of ability to make lump sum payments if it's a fixed rate mortgage. And also they'll give you information about any difficulties. So if you're suffering any difficulties in paying the mortgage, so what you need to be doing, in other words, contacting them to have a chat about stuff. The last thing, the big one, is they need to confirm to you a tariff of charges again, because there's charges for everything, isn't it? When you have a mortgage, you know, have another statement sent through, for example, there's a charge, isn't there? A direct debit that's failed, there's another charge. So they need to send you a statement of all the charges as well. Let's talk about these quickly, because charges relate to another MCOB, which I shall squeeze over here for you. And this one, this particular MCOB, is called MCOB 12. Don't worry about the numbers. But MCOB 12 affects what they call excessive charges. There you go, excessive charges. Again, MCOB 12 is for lenders, not brokers. It's not about your fee. This is lenders' charges. And there's two types of charges they were worried about when MCOB was invented. The first one was excessive redemption fees, and the second one is excessive fees on arrears. You know, when they start instructing solicitors and getting people involved, there's two areas where lenders have been criticised in the past for whacking charges at the customer. Now, MCOB 12 said they mustn't have excessive charges. Now, nobody ever defined what that meant, and it's often down to the ombudsman as well. Now, Consumer Duty, of course, has come in now and has really put charges under the spotlight. So I think that's going to have more power than MCOB 12 ever did. So that's about tariff of charges. So what does the mortgage advisor need to do on completion? Well, what she should do is arrange a settled in meeting. So let's put that in black for you. So the mortgage advisor, that's the lender. So the advisor, there you go, squeeze her in there. She should arrange a completion meeting, a settled in meeting. Call it what you like. I call it the settled in meeting. That's what we teach. The settled in meeting. Now, the settled in meeting, again, is online. Don't need to do it face to face unless you really want to, of course. And this is where you just do all the dashing of the T's, dotting of the I's, get everything up and running and confirm with the customer, make sure everything's all okay. It's a great meeting. Everyone's happy. It's something you need to be doing. Now, at that meeting, what you want to do then is you want to go for your referral. That's the big thing here. Now, remember, referrals are 3 steps: sow the seed, the value conversation in your testimonial, and then it's getting the referral or the introduction to a friend or family or colleague. And that's where you obtain the referral. You don't do it earlier. That's in the settled in meeting as well. What else does the broker need to do at that point? Well, she needs to get clever at making this customer a client. Now, a lot of mortgage advisors, mortgage brokers on LinkedIn talk about clients. They're kind of like proud of it, really. And I get all that. My clients, I have clients. And it's great. I get that. But the true definition of a client is when they are dealing with you on a regular basis. Otherwise, they're just a customer. Tell me I'm wrong if you want to. I'm okay with that. But when it's a one-off transaction, it's a customer. When it's regular consultation, they're a client. Now, they're not a client yet until you start giving them the impression you're going to be dealing with them forever, helping them with their finances and their protection forever until they die, And that's something you need to do, because the lender now wants to grab this customer as their client, because they want to deal with them forever, don't they? Send them product transfer details and everything. And arguably they're allowed to, because it's their customer. So what you want to do here is you want to get your CRM system up and running, your customer relationship management software, to hold that client detail. Even if your network has their own, I get it, get yours, get that customer, make them into a client, and start to incubate them. Send them regular information, send them details, send them ideas about mortgages, the way the market's going, send them a video clip if you want to, send them an email once a month. Send them a Christmas card. Send them a birthday card. My financial advisor still sends me a birthday card every year on my birthday. He's done it for 26 years, and it's lovely. And you've got their date of birth, of course, so you've got no excuse. That way, of course, when things come round to renewing their mortgage, you're there, you'll get the business. You have a client bank then, which is what most financial advisors do. Not a lot of mortgage advisors do that. So that's why I recommend you should do. But I've said that before many, many times. Brilliant work. Brilliant work. Hope that's been useful. Bye. There you go, guys. MCOB 7, disclosure on completion. Another MCOB next time we meet, I think, just to get you comfortable with everything that's going on. All right, let's pop over then to my Capital Radio slide there, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is just give you the QR code. We're going to wrap things up now, so let's just pop on in here and say hello to you again. Remember to get onto our database, because we have a client database as well of you guys. We need you to scan that. Just QR code it, scan it in, get onto our database. Be happy to deal with you, or send me an email, or put it on the YouTube, whatever you want to do. Go onto our website. You can sign up very quickly and easily. And we send you stuff, really. In November, we've got CMAP2 podcast live starting. So every Saturday morning for like 3 months, I think, we're going to be doing a live 30, 40 minutes podcast, so no green screens, on CMAP2, which is a great new product. We're launching that obviously next year. And you can listen for free if you want to on the database. Get on there. You can get the details of that one, which is brilliant if you enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to helping you there as well. So other than that, I'm going to wish you a fantastic day. If your kids are off this week or next week for half term, have fun. Hopefully the weather will pick up a little bit. And the trees are turning finally, so it's ever so pretty out there, isn't it, in the autumn? Have fun, everybody. I'll leave you with my little swirly video thing and a bit of music, and I will depart quite happily as well as we get going on this thing. You won't see this, you won't see me anymore. I'll see you all guys next week.